is looking deep down the left side. Mendeville into the end zone. Touchdown! Down the sideline, still Foley to the house.
And the players streaming from the sideline to celebrate with 17 seconds left.
Did everybody get enough rest? Did you guys recover? After 2.5 hours of talking with head football coaches from around Kern County, we're back for day 2 of the 2018 BVarsity Live Coaches Super Show. I am your host, Trevor Horn. I am joined, as always, by our sports editor, Teddy Feinberg. Teddy, did you get any rest last night?
I got a little bit, but I'm glad to be back.
Yes, me too. I think we were both up at 6 a.m. today, so
I got a text message from Trevor at 6:30 this morning.
yeah. So we're burning the candle at both ends, but we're doing it for your benefit.
Yep.
Glad to be back. We had 11 head coaches yesterday. We've got 11 more today. We're going to get right into it. Today we're joined by Independence first-year head coach Tyler Schilihabel. Did I say that right?
Shilihabel.
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 If you kick her in, no.
If you kick her in the leg, she'll hobble.
Shilihabel.
There you go. That's how I'm going to remember it because that's how Tyler told me. So, Tyler, first off, congratulations on your first head coaching experience. You're now 2.5 weeks into it. You've got a scrimmage the day after tomorrow if you didn't know that already. How's it been for you? I know it was a whirlwind. You got hired on late in the season, June, I believe, right?
Yeah,
May.
last week of May.
Yeah, last week of May, early June. And so, you've only had a few months with these guys. But these are still the seniors are guys that you knew when you were assistant before you went back to University of Utah. So how's it been? How you doing?
It's going well. One thing I keep telling the guys that I'm really proud of is how well they've handled the transition for as little time as we've had to, transition from last year's schemes and things like that into what we're trying to do. They picked it up really well. They've had great attitudes about it the whole time. Nobody's really hang their heads or had any woes or anything like that. It's just they picked it up and gotten right into it. So I couldn't be more happier with this group.
And I think you're going to be pretty happy all throughout the year because you're a head football coach and you're getting married in November. So congratulations on that. That's a big moment for you.
Coach.
Thank you.
So to be able to kind of compact all of that, how have you been able to do that? And I know you've got your dad, Dave, on staff with you and only 2 other assistant coaches. How have you guys been able to compact all of this stuff into such a short amount of time, knowing that, you got to get going because you got Wasco's scrimmage and then you're at home against South next week in the season opener?
Definitely, yeah. My assistant coaches have been a huge help. Bringing my dad on has really helped me out a lot. Until I get married in November, being able to stay with him and be able to kind of game plan and talk over some X's and O's schematics, things like that with him, and all the off-field things that are going on. He's been a really huge help with that. So couldn't be more grateful for that. And so I think, going forward, we'll be able to really just pick up with where we left off with last season's success. We have the opportunity to, really bring this group together. The school has been really great with, keeping the same schedule pretty much that this varsity team had last year with that 7th period that we're going to be able to spend more time with them. So we'll be able to make up for some lost time along the way.
And before we get into the nuts and bolts of this team, I kind of want to just go back and talk to you, if you don't mind, for just a second. Paralyzed when your senior year.
Junior year.
16. And, you've spent the last 8 years of your life, learning a totally different Tyler, and you've had to be this motivational, speaker to people for this. How much of that do you use knowing that you have been given a platform to hopefully better other people?
I carry it through my daily life. I don't know all the reasons for why this accident was given to me, but one of the reasons I know is because I've seen the impact I've been able to have on young people, especially, and so I'm very grateful to be in the position that I'm in now. I don't, preach or try to talk too much about myself when I am working with my team and, working through things like adversity and stuff like that. But I think they just naturally see it, There's not a lot of complaining when we're out there conditioning or when things get tough because I think a lot of the guys, they can look at me and just go, and not to build myself up in any way, but they do realize that, this game could be taken from them at any moment, and so that kind of changes their attitude on what they think is tough right now,
Teddy, you and I have been combined covering sports at the collegiate level, the pro level, the high school level, I think for a combined 25 years now.
Don't say that live ever again, but yeah. No,
but when you look at it, I mean, you don't get a lot of experience as this, emotional and transcending as the one that, that Tyler has, right?
No, I mean, you don't. I think it's obviously a unique set of circumstances, but I think it also really says an awful lot about you to persevere, coach, and to be in the position you are today. And I can confidently say we're all really excited for you to be here and lead the program, and we can't wait to see what you do in 2018. And that's pretty much it, man. When you were at Independence, just in your quarterbacking days, and leading that program, when you look back at those days, how special was that for you? And then the fact that you're leading this program once again. I mean, when you reflect on that and then see where you are today, I guess talk about your mindset there, just being back and leading the program now as a full-time head coach.
One of the things that I like to draw back on is, I myself and obviously my teammates, we opened up that school in 2008. This will be our 10th football season. And so I've been there from the beginning. I've seen the transition that it's gone through from our very first varsity game until now. And so I'm trying to, bring some of those traditions and stuff that we established when we were first there, but also trying to change the mentality of some of the maybe not so great things about that program, because I've been there from the beginning. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and I want to try to, change that along the way through my tenure at the school. And so I'm really looking forward to using the experiences that I do have.
I mean, just out of curiosity, what are some of those not so good things?
Just one of the things that has kind of been an Achilles heel of our program, and like I love Independence High School. I love our football program. I'm very glad to be back. We haven't always been the best with dealing with adversity. Just plain and simple. Getting down by 2 touchdowns, a big play happens, and that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to combat with us is overcoming the somewhat what people would see as bad things happening throughout a game or throughout a season, is just being a resilient football team. There have been years where consistently they've done it, but then there's been other years where it's just been not great at all. And I want it to be consistent through my tenures that we are a resilient football team. It doesn't matter what happens on the field, what happens throughout the course of a season. We're going to bounce back, play to play, game to game, and you're not going to be able to count an Independence football team out of a game ever.
Well, here you are with a team that won a school record 7 games last season, and you bring back, a smaller offensive line, but a lot of skill players that could do a lot of things for you. Returning quarterback Sergio Borelli, you've got Malik Duluth there, Armani Denweed. How do you build off of those guys' leadership into a winning situation again this year?
They've all taken kind of a natural leadership role during the month of June, and then during this fall camp. I was really pleased to see that. And then the other thing is, not trying to complicate things for them too much, keeping things as similar as they were to last year. Obviously, terminology is going to change a little bit, but really what we're asking them to do physically on the field is not, a world of difference from what they were asked to do last year. And so just keeping that as consistent and basic really as possible will really ensure our success.
It's a whirlwind for you right now, but how exciting is this for you to really, be on the cusp of this thing really just getting going and game start?
It's very exciting. I still don't think it's fully hit. I think it'll hit when we go in scrimmage Wasco on Friday. It hit a little bit when we were competing against other schools in June during the passing league. Right. But now that we have the pads on, it'll be full live scrimmage. I think that's when it'll really set in. And then I'm sure I'll have the jitterbugs going into that first week of school and playing South the following week. But I couldn't be more excited for it. But I also know that there's going to be some bumps along the way, and so I'm not naive in that aspect. But I'm confident and optimistic going forward.
Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you got the gig there, you actually contacted them, did you not? Did you see the opening and reach out to them? Is that how it worked?
For the South game?
For the Independence game.
For the job.
For the job.
Yeah,
yeah. For the
so
job, sorry.
I was informed from a couple people, that there was an opening, and so I reached out to our athletic director. I sent him a text, just said, hey, I heard that there's an opening for the job. I'd like to throw my name in the hat. And so he said, shoot me over your resume. Let's set up a time. And so once that was all done, I packed up the car, drove down to Bakersfield for the interview, drove back up to Utah, and got the call about a week and a half later.
Teddy, 10 minutes goes by way too quick.
It's over?
Lee, it's over. So
Like, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just getting into it.
No. But Tyler, you're going to come back on the show later this season at some point, all right?
Sounds good.
I appreciate you. Good luck to you this year. Gosh, it starts in 48 hours for you, so have at it. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming in. We got another first-year head coach here on the 2018 BVarsity Coaches Show, brought to you by Motor City Buick GMC. It is Chad Greider, the first-year head coach at East. He is back at the helm, and he will be with us here in just a moment. We'll be right back.